let me first just say this. This lady's hair is so annoying. I'm sorry. Like, I hate to be this way because I don't really talk about people's hairstyle. I just told my wife. My wife is a hairstylist. I said, this lady's hair is insane. Like, text.
I grew up with my mom. My dad and my mom, things didn't work out. As an adult, I look at my father and I say, bro, I don't know what happened, but you my father and I love you.
Wow.
I don't know what happened. I wasn't there.
Wow.
But I'm going to tell you this. Growing up, the one thing I knew I wanted to do, and this is not about my father, this is about what I wanted to do, is I wanted to be a father to myself.
Wow.
And so.
And the media will not talk about the point that he just said right there, but they will mention what he says afterwards.
One of the things that's actually happening in our culture, which you're now starting to see in our politics, is the reinvigoration of black families with younger black men and black women. And that is also helping to breed the revival of a black middle class in America. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people are always a bit conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are. What's happened in America the last 10 years, and I say it because it's my contemporaries as Wesley's contemporaries, you're starting to see more black people be married in homes, raising kids. It's when you home with your wife raising your kids, and then you look at the world, you're saying, now wait a minute, time out. This does not look right. How can I get something to my kids? It goes back to the conversation of generational wealth. Not just having a job, generational wealth.
I am joined now by Florida Republican Congressman.
So before we play all that, what was wrong with what he said? Did he say anything wrong? When you really listen, what did he say? He just said that it was important for black families to be married, right? He wanted to be a part of his children's life. He talks about the importance of pretty much being a father. There's nothing wrong that he said here. But so there was nothing wrong with what he said. He just said, hey, during Jim Crow, black families were married. They were more together. That's all he said. Which, I mean, during that time, this is when black folks were having a lot of children. They were having a lot of children, a lot of big families, and they were married. Okay, cool. What is wrong with what he just said? But see, what the media will do is they will take that point that he said, and because he said the words Jim Crow, they said, oh, I think we got him. Let's take that and let's flip it and act like he doesn't know his history, and then talk about everything that happened during Jim Crow and say, do you support this? So now Byron Donalds is going to break this down, and I think he does a phenomenal job on just pretty much trying to stick to the point and not get caught up in the emotional part of the argument of this lady's horrible hair and horrible viewpoints, and stays right on topic like a man should, and like a good person with integrity says, listen, don't twist my words, listen to what I'm saying, and if you can't hear what I'm saying, you got an agenda.
Byron Donalds. Congressman, thank you for being here. We played that lengthy segment. That is what you posted on your social media. The part of what you said that people take issue with is this line, which I'm going to read back to you again. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative-minded, but black people voted conservatively. But it is that during Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's what people have taken issue with. What are they missing?
Frankly, what's really happened is that you have, Democrats and you have the Biden campaign, and some in the media want to twist my words for political purposes. The overarching issue is talking just about black families and why you're seeing a trend of black people leaning towards Republicans in this election cycle and probably in election cycles to come. And part of that, is that when you're raising families, raising kids, etc., you're now thinking about all of the public policy issues, all of the economic issues, all of the education issues. And that's leading people to have divergence in political thoughts. That was the only point. The stuff that comes up about Jim Crow and twisting my words, saying I was being nostalgic or saying that Jim Crow was good for black people, that's all political spin. It's a lie. It's gaslighting. And that's truly unfortunate.
All right,
so
boom.
Here's the challenge.
And that was spot on. That's exactly what it was. It was 100% gaslighting. As soon as he said the words, they said, let's go ahead and run with the new story and put words in this man's mouth that he didn't say. Watch what this lady says right after he answers the question as directly as he could. Like, that was common sense answering right there. Look what she does.
Congressman, you started out talking about your family, talking about your mom, talking about being raised, and you on your own brought up Jim Crow. In fact, you said Jim Crow 3 times for emphasis. It wasn't the media or the Democrats or gaslighters who brought up Jim Crow. It was you. You brought up Jim Crow. So why did you use Jim Crow specifically as your reference? You did that. No one else did that. You did it.
Oh, I did. We were having a conversation just talking as, black people in Philadelphia. But if you're going to use the chronological timeline of America before the Great Society and Lyndon Johnson's time period, you had, unfortunately, the Jim Crow era in America. During that time period, the marriage rates of black Americans was significantly higher than any other time since then in American history. So it is.
That's the point that he made. That's all he was saying. Why did she's trying to make it seem like he supports Jim Crow.
Virgins, if you're talking about marriage rates in the black community, they have plummeted. And what we've seen recently in America, which is a very good thing we should all celebrate, is that the marriage rates in the black community are rising again. That's good for black families. That's definitely good for black children. It's something I want to see. I'm quite sure you want to see it as well.
Okay, let's talk about that. Jim Crow lasted roughly from 1867 after the Civil War to 1968. Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for black families, or a time that was good for black families?
He never said anything about an era. He never said golden era. You see what I'm saying? You see how she flipped that? She said, okay, this is what Jim Crow, these are the years of Jim Crow. And she wants to pinpoint him and say, well, what eras were good? He never said it was good, lady. He said the black families were together. Were more together during that time, which if you look at it, they had to be more together during that time. It was segregation was going on. They had to be together. They like, lady, are you crazy? Are you nuts? Miss Reid, whatever her name is, right? Are you Joy Reid? Are you nuts? He just said during that time, black families were more together. During Jim Crow, not Jim Crow, he supports and this is good for black people. No, but see, this is what I can't stand. And then what'll happen is, and it doesn't matter what party, but right now this is the Democrats doing this. The Democrats will then take this clip and then say that, oh, look at this black man who said that Jim Crow was good, and then they'll make it seem like he's not credible when the man never said that. If you listen to that clip, he never said anything about an era about Jim Crow. He said that the black families are more together. Why can't you stick to the point? He was talking about black families being together. And then later in this interview, he talks about the importance of a black father. And then this lady she changes his whole thing and dismisses that he said that black fathers are important in the black family. And Joy Reid dismisses it and wants to stick to Jim Crow. These are just silly. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end it off on there. Give me y'all thoughts. I want to play this one clip, and I want to show y'all how the Democrat Party and these stations are being emotional, and they're trying to get you guys to vote a certain way and think a certain way. This is exactly what happened during 2020, right? What I'm about to play right now, right? What I'm about to play right now is exactly what happened during 2020, right? Let me see if I make this shot. Oh, I missed, but I was right there. During 2020, there was so much uncertainty going on with the jab and everything else, and they use CNN to boost up all the black brutality stories, right? And they played to it, and all of a sudden you go on CNN now and you see none of it, right? They tie to your emotional heart to make you seem like they care and they don't, right? I want you to look at what she's about to do. This man, Byron Donalds, has said that black families were more together during Jim Crow. That was all that he said. He said nothing else about Jim Crow. Look what she does.